Hey folks, it's time for yet another custom lesson. This one has been requested by C-sar. I think this is the second one? Cool. Hearing quick cancel cores got me thinking, what about a become one with the core setup? Weapons will be dual swords in either Switchglaive, Spear, or Split Staff. I use Switchglaive this time. Guardian Spirits can be Baku or Yumihami. You can just use any Brute and any other Guardian Spirit. You can even use two Brutes, so I use different stuff. Soul Cores gotta be Magatsu Warrior, Enki, Kiryoki, Ippon, Aberrant Soldier, Underworld Soldier, which is very specific, and I do use all of those. Enemy can be any hard boss will do as long as the boss doesn't make it look boring. Maybe Oni Shibata, which by the thumbnail, yes, that's who I fight. Beast versus Beast. The idea is to have a fierce playstyle where the player will use Soul Cores as a part of their weapon play, which is why I listed Soul Cores that transform you into something not too big and use some sort of weapon. I got this inspiration after playing Virgil in DMC5. I was able to go in and out of double mode mid-combo to do some devastating stuff and cool stuff. I remember you usually do Brute Burst counter after Sacred Bird Flight, and it looks cool, so I thought this might be possible, and it is. And yeah, by the way, I'm sure hopefully you like the Virgil DMC5 little character I got, but yeah, I'm using dual swords and Switchglaive. Now, I'm not going to necessarily use Sacred Bird Flight, but you can take a lot of the ideas I use in here, and you'll have fun using the Brute counter and stuff like that. So let's show you the weapons I'm using. Specifically, here are the stats. Corrupted Life Drain Active Skill with Anima bonus on Grapple, and same thing with my Demon Horde Switchglaive. Great. Now, as for the Guardian Spirits, let me show you what I work with. So, Ninetales, I decided to go with that as opposed to Yumihami. And I put the following cores on there: Ippon, Aberrant, and Soldier, and Enki. So when it comes to the stats, starting with Aberrant Soldier, this is probably the number one soul core you want to boost up to 30, simply because these stats are awesome. Efficient yokai abilities, Anima bonus Timely Guard are great. I got lucky with Anima, but feel free to get whatever else you want here. This is absolutely fantastic. Do not underestimate the value of this. With Enki, you can boost this one up as well. I chose not to. All I cared about was the Yokai ability Ki Pulse, but it can be nice to get Anima back in case you take a lot of damage. And then for Ippon, you can boost the rank up if you're attached to the Scorched Enemy, I guess, thing, and it's nice that you can get some fire application, but I don't really care much about it. But in case you did, I figured, hey, let's put it on Ninetales, which you get an Anima bonus for scorching an enemy. And then you get that, and you got Yokai ability damage, which means you can use these much more often, which is great. Fire damage, fire resistance, all this stuff is nice in case you decide to go with the element of fire. It's just extra. It's not something you got to revolve a strategy around. These stats are great. This Anima charge bonus is fantastic, but not needed because we have Aberrant Soldier. Now for the Brute Spirit, I went with Shirohami because 2 out of the 3 soul cores that I put on here are really good on Shirohami. So Magatsu Warrior, definitely get this one up to 30. And this ability works brilliantly on Shirohami for the Imbue Poison factor. It is so good. Other than that, Yokai ability Ki Pulse is all I cared for. Now, when we go to Kiryoki, it's kind of the same thing. Kiryoki works really well with Shirohami and is overall a very cool core. And that's obviously why I picked it. And when it comes to the soul core stats, I wasn't too attached to this, just Yokai ability Ki Pulse. This is pretty cool, but again, not really necessary. If there is another soul core you'll want to boost to 30, it's probably Underworld Soldier. And that's just because the Anima bonus on Grapple is huge here, which against Yokai is very valuable. So yeah, I have a lot of Yokai ability Ki Pulse, and that's pretty much what we have for the setup. So we have the options of poisoning a target and potentially inflicting fire. And honestly, the poison thing will be much more reliable than the fire. But in case neither of those work out, you still have these soul cores to mess around with. It's just an interesting way to work with the stuff. But let's get on to Yokai Shift, in which there's a lot more power to be had. With Yokai Shift, let's get into it right now. So a lot of interesting combos. The stuff on Phantom isn't necessarily going to be too powerful, but another reason I put Aberrant on Phantom is so you can do quick charge stuff like this, which can be great. As you can see there, it can be extra handy. Pretty neat. So yeah, this, I would say Phantom setup is mostly utilitarian in nature, simply because you have a lot of quick cores of sorts. Maybe the only weird one might be Enki. But yeah, hopefully you got some ideas that you can play around with. Let me show it once more against the Yoki. Alright, so how would I open up? Something like that. Enki I would just use in a more situational capacity. Something like that. Now, Brute's gonna be a little different. A lot more power to be had here, especially with poison. So let's just show you what I can come up with. Not that. Come on, let's do Fang Break. Come on. No, you want to. Whee! Oh, he's not cooperating. So yeah, you got poison and fire potentially, which is, you know, unexpected damage over time stuff is always nice to have. Try this again. A lot of poison. Pretty neat, huh? So yeah, Underworld Soldier is probably the awkward one here, but as you saw, charging it up and going for a long-range engage ain't too bad. Alright, come on, what you got? Try this again. Yeah, pretty beast. Let's just go kill a human with it, because it's fun. And why not? Alright, what you got? I'm surprised the poison application exists here. It's not something you can depend upon normally, but it's pretty cool. Alright, he's dead. So yeah, that's Yokai Shift in a nutshell, but let's get on to weapon-based play. Weapon-based play is certainly a lot of fun, and there's so many different things we can do with these soul cores, which is exactly why you picked them. So let's get to it. I'm going to start with some just reprisal stuff. Alright, let's go. Nice. Alright, what do we got? Decent. Let's do some more things. Because there's a lot of things we can do. Like? Come on. Sweet. Oh, come on, Ippon. Why'd you gotta miss? A lot of fun there. Alright, what else I got? You know, one move I should try to use more often is Path of 3. It's like a move I sometimes forget to use. Kiryoki is obviously very spicy. Yeah, a lot of fun there. Alright, let's see what else I can show you. Because we've got quite the showcase. It's kind of hard to remember everything I do, to be honest. Very nice. Really? I'm kind of also used to the skill expansion mod, which doesn't really help matters. And in the skill expansion mod, there's a lot of inputs where it's like, where you press backwards on the, like, the control stick and stuff. Nice. Come on. Sweet. What do we got? As you can tell, I kind of like Kiryoki a lot. It's just really fast after doing a brute counter. Let's see what else I can think of. I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess that works. Yeah, that works, right? That works. Honestly, I think it's going to be harder for me to come up with stuff here and probably just show you some cool stuff in action. And I think that's exactly what happens in the gameplay showcase, but I'll let you be the judge. So I will see you guys momentarily. Alright, scroll the damn time. So hopefully what I do against Shibata will tickle your fancy. I try to make it look cool. Try to do some pretty crazy things. But first, in this scroll the damn, we have to fight a bunch of Enkis and a bunch of weird enemies. So this will just showcase the overall, I guess, viability, if that's even a word, of this setup. I mean, of course it's viable no matter what you pick. But still, it doesn't hurt to see how powerful it can be when you're able to use all these different tools at a decent capacity. So at first I have some little difficulty in trying to develop a rhythm against all sorts of enemies. As you can see, I missed the brute counter, but honestly, like, it's just, you'll just see Shibata, and hopefully that redeems everything else. I should have probably gone for the grapple here. I would have gotten so much more anima, but really not big a deal. I mean, poison just neutered him altogether. It's such an underrated status ailment that I would encourage players to explore more often. Alright, let's see what I can do. I got the doggo to worry about. Oh my god, I almost died. Having life drain on yokai ability hit is pretty nice too if you can get that, but it's not that big of a deal if you have other life regen based effects. Come on, let's go. What you got? Oh no, we got a Waira. Oh boy. Alright, so Arc of Chaos, I'm trying to kill the little guy as quickly as I can. Camera ain't working the best because I'm in a corner, so it's just a little awkward. But alright, Waira, it's not that big of a deal. He does have some hyper armor moves, even if he's low on ki, which can be frustrating. But his overall threat level is very low, as you can see when I'm able to use Ippon and get my grapple off. Again, you should get in the habit of switching to the Guardian Spirit that does have Underworld Soldier, just so that you can get that extra anima bonus whenever you get a grapple. It makes such a huge difference in terms of your offensive capacity. And yeah, didn't get to nail it there, but that's alright. All things considered, you won't really be anima starved with this setup unless you like spam Magatsu Warrior back to back, which of course makes sense when each second tiered version of that costs like 9 anima. So just bear that in mind. Alright, gotta kill the doggo because the doggo's annoying, so I give him a bunch of blades to the face, and now he's dead. Back to a normal Waira once again, and the strategy is pretty much the same. Stay behind him, and don't get too cocky. That's it. If you get cocky, he can actually kill you. There's a lot of enemies in Nioh 2 like that, to be honest, in which you think, yeah, I got this, they're the easiest things in the book, and then they just kill you, and then you feel dumb because you underestimated their power. And Waira is certainly one of those. Not particularly tough, but you can get caught off guard if you're not paying attention to certain hyper armor attacks, which can be very frustrating. Alright, like that. You're like, dude, you got no ki. What the heck's wrong with you? It's just Nioh 2 doing Nioh 2 things, so just pay attention to him and you'll be alright. Alright, come on, we gotta get the Shibata, man. I gotta look good. I gotta make sure I don't make this look boring. Alright, stab him, kill him, thank you. Alright, awesome. And now we've got Enki. Enki is really not that, it's not a difficult enemy compared to many other things. Oh, Underworld Soldier. No, not making me look good. Just Reprisal. Yes, excellent. Parries. Parries make me look good. Ooh, oh, dang it. Didn't look good there. That's okay. Alright, he is almost out of ki. Alright, can I get the grapple off this time? There he goes. Smart grapple. Excellent. Got my anima back to full. See what a difference it makes when you just switch to Underworld Soldier to get your grapple? It's such a big deal. Also, it's very important that you use Ippon-Datara at the right moment. Staggering is very valuable, but if nothing else, it can provide a good amount of ki damage, which is always awesome. And then I use Enki to basically help kill the Enki. Nice. Alright, enough about all of that. I'm going to try to redeem myself with my fight against Shibata. There are quite a few things that I pulled off that I think were pretty cool, and hopefully you find them cool too. But first I gotta kill this little guy before I can even get onto the big boy here. Missing that grapple felt bad. It's just, you know, weird wonky Nioh 2 things. Oh well, anyway, big Shibata here. So with Shibata, it is very important that you get a good sense of momentum. It can be very difficult to do so unless you're in the habit of breaking his tusk, which, as many of you know, can be pretty difficult to do. So when can you do that? You just use Aberrant Soldier. Boom! There you go. Nice. So Aberrant Soldier is really awesome in this situation here. So yeah, it enables me to go into the Yokai Shift. And oddly enough, Ninetales you wouldn't think would be able to apply fire, but check this out. Fire applied. I use Enki to jump over Shibata, man. Totally planned, I promise. Totally planned. And then I use some various yokai abilities in conjunction with the Yokai Shift stuff to transition into brute form. Yeah, I'm going to keep saying the Enki was planned. Absolutely, 100%. Alright, let's get some poison off. Poison will be very valuable, showcasing some of his Yokai Shift combos I mentioned in the dojo. And while Yokai Shift evaporated quickly and I nearly died, things like Aberrant Soldier redeemed me there, right? Breaking that tusk is so great, and it just makes the fight that much more bearable. So having that option with Aberrant Soldier is super sick, and it's only 3 anima. A soul core that you might think is otherwise pointless, well guess what, it's super good. And as you saw, Magatsu Warrior did a lot of work for me there, dealing a lot of key damage, and of course enabling the Brute Yokai Shift grapple, the Chicken Bone, the legendary Chicken Bone. I used Ippon there to deplete some ki, not necessarily the most effective because it didn't have the stagger, but nonetheless the fight is really going in my favor, which feels extra spicy. Alright, let's see if I can deplete his ki. Not quite. Close, but not enough. Alright, let's see what we got here. We got the usual Deadly Spiral, planning my next move. Let's see if I can get Corruption off in order to get extra key damage dealt. Nope, not quite. Use some of the soul cores. Alright, how am I going to break his tusk this time? With Thin Air! Ooh, isn't that glorious? Not just leaning on Aberrant Soldier all the time, guys. I know how to play. Using the Divine Retribution to further secure my sense of self-esteem over a video game. I'm just kidding, guys. I don't actually care. But yeah, it's fun to weave in all sorts of different combos here. It certainly feels pretty fun, and when you get into the zone, it's a blast. And as you can see, I'm really not having much trouble, even with his ki being really high, being able to use things to break his tusks, and being able to, ooh, nice dodge, being able to use soul cores at arguably some of the best moments possible makes things so much more bearable in a crazy fight like this one. So I'm trying to get his ki out. Nice, I have done that. So how am I going to finish this up? Well, let's see. Divine Retribution, because it's so cool. And then let's go for a Focus Retribution and finish it off. Nice. So yeah, hopefully that was enjoyable. I know I certainly had a lot of fun pulling off various combos, and hopefully this fits your theme with what you're going for with Virgil from DMC5. In any case, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was informative and helpful, and I'll see you guys next time.